Om Namah Shivaya. It is told in Shiva Purana that people who become adulterers due to their intellect getting corrupted, they have to go to a terrible hell as Chanchala's husband Binduga had to suffer. But Chanchala got rid of her husband from sin by listening to Shiva Purana. Shivji fills the lap of childless people from the story of Shiv Puran. Shiva Purana Katha rules and benefits, very important for Shiva devotees. Shiv Purana, which has a total of 7 parts of Sanhita. These codes contain the stories of Shiva Leela along with the rules, methods and benefits of Purana recitation of Shiva Purana. Shiva devotees get happiness in both the world and the hereafter by reciting them. Shiva Purana is one of the 18 Puranas which contain stories related to the origin of Shivalinga and devotion to Shiva, including the stories of Lord Shiva and his worship method. You can organize the recitation of Shiv Purana at any auspicious time. But reading and listening to Shiv Purana in the month of Sawan is very beneficial. In Shiv Purana, there is the story of Chanchala and her husband Bindig, who found a place in Shivlok by listening to Shiv Puran. The description of the importance of Shiva Purana is also found in his stories. Along with this, Sudji, the disciple of Maharishi Vyasji, tells how one should listen to Shiva Purana and what rules should be followed by those who listen to it. It is an important rule for those who listen to Shiv Purana. Whenever Shiv Puran is organized, if possible inform all the friends, family members and those who wish to listen to it, so that they too can take advantage of listening to it. Before listening to Shiv Puran Katha, make a resolution that you will listen to the story carefully and try to keep your mind focused on Lord Shiva. Until the recitation of Shiv Puran is over every day, one should listen to the story without fasting. The one who takes the resolution of listening and reciting Shiv Purana should eat only once until the entire lesson is over and the food should be sattvic. Listen to the story of Shiv Puran as long as you are listening. That is, as long as the story of Shiva Purana goes on. Lentils, carrots, stale food, asafoetida, garlic, onion, burnt grains, beans and heavy food, rich food, should be avoided in addition to meat and alcohol. One who listens to the story of Shiva Purana must observe celibacy till the time period when the story is over. Every day at the beginning and end of the story of Shiva Purana, worship of Shiva Purana should be done, and if you are getting a priest to recite it, then you should pay obeisance to him and give charity. The Shiva Purana explains what benefits a person gets from worshipping Lord Shiva, and how he should be worshipped. Let us tell you that in this, many measures have been given to please Lord Shiva, by doing which the devotees get special benefits and their sorrows and pains go away. Serious patient, unlucky person also gets benefit from the story of Shiva Purana. That's why one should listen to the story of Shiva Purana with devotion and faith in the mind. If there is disbelief in the mind, results are not achieved. What is the science behind the story of Shiva Purana? Is the importance of Shiva only cultural, or are there other aspects of Mahadev, the god of yogi gods adorned with this ash? There is a lot of discussion of Puranas in Hindu culture. This is one of these Puranas. Shiva Purana. So is this Purana just stories, or an attempt has been made to tell something else through stories? The vast emptiness we call Shiva is limitless, eternal. But since human perception is limited to form and shape, many forms have been imagined for Shiva in our culture. The incomprehensible God, the auspicious Shambho, the very innocent, the great guru and teacher of the Vedas, the Shastras and the Tantras, Dakshinamurti, the easily forgiving Ashutosh, Bhairav colored with the blood of the Creator, the perfectly stable Akaleshwar, the most magical dancer, Natraj, etc. That means, as many aspects of life as there are, the same aspects of Shiva have been described. Generally, in most parts of the world, anything that people consider divine or godly is depicted as good. But if you read Shiva Purana carefully, you cannot identify Shiva as good or bad. He is everything. He is the ugliest. He is also the most beautiful. He is the best and the worst. He is the most disciplined, but also a drunkard. He is worshipped by gods, demons and all kinds of creatures in the world. Our so-called civilization also destroyed these indigestible stories for its convenience, but the essence of Shiva actually lies in this. Shiva's personality is made up of completely contradictory or opposing aspects of life. A complex confluence of all the qualities of existence has been put into a single human being, because if you can accept this one being, then understand that you have gone through the whole life. Our whole struggle with life is that we always try to choose between what is beautiful and what is not, what is good and what is bad. But if you can accept this one person who is a complex amalgamation of everything in life, then you will have no problem with anything. Shiv Puran, what is the science behind the story? If you look at the stories of the Shiva Purana, you will see that the theory of relativity, the theory of quantum mechanics, the whole of modern physics, are beautifully expressed through stories. It is a logical culture, in which science was expressed through stories. Everything was made real. But later people abandoned science and just carried on stories. Those stories were exaggerated over generations to the point where they looked downright silly. If you bring science back into those stories, it's a beautiful way to express science. Shiva Purana is the supreme science of taking human nature to the peak of consciousness, done by very beautiful stories. Yoga is expressed as a science which does not have stories, but if you look into it in a deeper sense, yoga and Shiva Purana cannot be separated. One is for those who like stories and the other is for those who want to see everything from the point of view of science, but the basic elements are the same for both. Nowadays, scientists are doing a lot of research on the nature of modern education. One thing is being said that if a child enters the practical world after getting 20 years of formal education, a large part of his intelligence is destroyed, which cannot be recovered. This means that he turns into a very knowledgeable fool. Scientists say that a better way to deliver education is to provide it in the form of stories or drama. There have been some attempts in this direction, but most education in the world has been largely prohibitive. Vast amounts of information overwhelm your intellect unless it is given to you in a particular form. The best way would be to impart education in the form of a story. This is what was done in this culture. The highest dimensions of science were handed down to other people in the form of wonderful stories. This video of ours. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, follow. Om Namah Shivaya.